According to the National Electrical Code, for dwelling units, non-fusable disconnect switches are only allowed for specific appliances. These include disconnecting a range oven, countermounted cooking unit, or other household cooking appliance, disconnecting a clothes dryer, and disconnecting a water heater. For all other applications, a fusible disconnect switch is typically required. The reason for this distinction lies in the level of protection each type of disconnect offers. A non-fusible disconnect switch serves primarily as a means to safely isolate a circuit for maintenance or repair. It does not provide overcurrent protection. This means that if a fault condition occurs, such as a short circuit or ground fault, the non-fusible disconnect will not interrupt the flow of current. The circuit breaker in the main panel is intended to provide overcurrent protection, but it may not react quickly enough or at a sufficiently low current level to prevent damage to the wiring or the connected equipment in all scenarios. A fusible disconnect switch, on the other hand, incorporates fuses within the switch enclosure. These fuses are designed to blow, interrupting the circuit when the current exceeds a predetermined level. This provides an additional layer of protection against overcurrent conditions. In the event of a fault, the fuse will blow, preventing excessive current from flowing through the circuit and potentially causing a fire or damage to equipment. The code mandates fusible disconnects for applications like well pumps because these types of loads often involve motors, which can be susceptible to overload and fault conditions. A well pump motor, for example, could experience a locked rotor condition where the motor is unable to turn. This can cause the motor to draw a very high current, which, if left unchecked, could overheat the motor and the wiring. A fusible disconnect provides a means to quickly interrupt the circuit in such a scenario, preventing damage. When selecting a fusible disconnect, it is important to choose the correct fuse size. The fuse size should be based on the motor's nameplate current rating and any applicable code requirements. Using a fuse that is too large will not provide adequate protection, while using a fuse that is too small will cause nuisance tripping. It is also important to ensure that the fusible disconnect is properly installed and grounded. This will help to prevent electrical shock hazards. When replacing a non-fusible disconnect with a fusible disconnect, it is important to follow all applicable code requirements and manufacturer's instructions. First step is to de-energize the circuit at the main panel. This can be done by turning off the circuit breaker that supplies power to the disconnect. Next, the existing non-fusible disconnect can be removed. Be sure to disconnect all wiring from the disconnect before removing it from the enclosure. The fusible disconnect can then be installed in its place. Be sure to connect all wiring to the disconnect in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. It is important to use the correct wire size and type for the application. Once the wiring is complete, the fuses can be installed in the fusible disconnect. Be sure to use the correct fuse size for the application. Finally, the circuit breaker at the main panel can be turned back on. The fusible disconnect should now be ready to use. It is important to test the fusible disconnect to ensure that it is working properly. This can be done by using a multimeter to check the voltage at the disconnect. The voltage should be the same as the voltage at the main panel. It is also important to check the fuses to ensure that they are not blown. If a fuse is blown, it should be replaced with a new fuse of the same size and type. Here are some additional considerations. Firstly, local codes may have additional requirements for disconnects. Always check with the local building department to ensure compliance with all applicable codes. Secondly, consider the environment in which the disconnect will be installed. If the disconnect will be exposed to moisture or corrosive elements, an M4 X-rated enclosure may be required. Thirdly, ensure that the disconnect is readily accessible. The code requires that disconnects be readily accessible so that they can be easily operated in the event of an emergency. In summary, while non-fusible disconnects may seem like a cost-effective option, they do not provide the same level of protection as fusible disconnects. For applications like well pumps, where motor overload and fault conditions are possible, a fusible disconnect is the recommended and often code-required choice. By understanding the differences between these two types of disconnects and following all applicable code requirements, one can help to ensure the safety and reliability of electrical systems. Remember to consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns about electrical installations. The National Electrical Code Section 430.109 outlines the general requirements for motor disconnecting means, stating that a disconnecting means shall be provided for motors and shall be capable of disconnecting the motor and all control apparatus from the supply. Section 430.109 specifically addresses stationary pumps, requiring the disconnecting means to be readily accessible and within sight from the pump. This is to ensure that the pump can be quickly and easily de-energized in case of an emergency or during maintenance. The requirement for a fusible disconnect versus a non-fusible disconnect is often dictated by Section 430.53, which covers motor overload protection. If the motor is not equipped with inherent overload protection, or if the overload protection is not sufficient, a fusible disconnect may be required to provide the necessary overcurrent protection. Also, Section 430.110 requires the disconnecting means to have an ampere rating of at least 115% of the motor's full load current rating. This is to ensure that the disconnecting means can safely handle the motor's normal operating current. For example, if a well pump motor has a full load current rating of 10 amps, the disconnecting means must have an ampere rating of at least 11.5 amps. In practice, a 15 amp or 20 amp disconnect would likely be used. When selecting fuses for a fusible disconnect, it is important to choose the correct type and size. Dual element time delay fuses are often recommended for motor circuits because they can withstand the temporary immersion current that occurs when a motor starts. The fuse size should be based on the motor's nameplate current rating and any applicable code requirements. NEC Table 430.52 provides guidance on the maximum fuse size for different types of motors. It is important to note that the fuse size should not exceed the motor's nameplate current rating multiplied by the appropriate factor from Table 430.52. Using a fuse that is too large will not provide adequate protection and could allow the motor to be damaged in the event of an overload or fault. In addition to the National Electrical Code, local codes may have additional requirements for disconnects. It is always important to check with the local building department to ensure compliance with all applicable codes. Furthermore, it's important to consider the specific application and environment when selecting a disconnect. For example, if the disconnect will be installed in a wet location, an M4 or 4X rated enclosure should be used to protect the disconnect from moisture. Also, the disconnect should be readily accessible and located in a safe place where it can be easily operated in the event of an emergency. To summarize, the decision to use a fusible or non-fusible disconnect for a well pump depends on several factors, including the motor's overload protection, the applicable code requirements, and the specific application and environment. In many cases, a fusible disconnect is the preferred and code-required choice to provide adequate overcurrent protection and ensure the safety and reliability of the electrical system. Always consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the correct disconnect is selected and installed in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. Also, be aware that home inspectors are trained to identify potential safety hazards and code violations, and they may be more familiar with the specific requirements for well pump disconnects in your area. If a home inspector recommends replacing a non-fusible disconnect with a fusible disconnect, it is generally a good idea to follow the recommendation to ensure compliance with the code and to protect the safety of your home and family. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it is always best to hire a qualified electrician to perform any electrical repairs or installations. An electrician will have the knowledge and experience to ensure that the work is done safely and in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. The NEC also addresses the ampacity of conductors. Section 310.15 and related tables dictate the allowable ampacity of conductors based on the size, insulation type, and installation method. The conductors feeding the well pump and the disconnect switch must be sized to handle the motor's full load current plus any applicable dirting factors. Dirting factors may be required if the conductors are installed in conduit with other conductors, or if they are exposed to high ambient temperatures. It is crucial to consult the NEC tables and apply the appropriate derating factors to ensure that the conductors are adequately sized and can safely carry the required current. Also, grounding and bonding are essential for electrical safety. The disconnect switch and the well pump motor must be properly grounded to provide a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source. This helps to ensure that the circuit breaker will trip quickly in the event of a ground fault, preventing electrical shock hazards. The NEC provides detailed requirements for grounding and bonding in Article 250. It is important to follow these requirements carefully to ensure that the electrical system is properly grounded and bonded. In addition, surge protection may be considered for well pump circuits. Well pumps can be susceptible to damage from voltage surges caused by lightning strikes or other electrical events. Surge protective devices, or SPDs, can be installed to protect the well pump motor and other electrical equipment from surge damage. The NEC provides guidance on the selection and installation of SPD in Article 285.